Today, I'm here to talk about life and how life can change in a snap of a finger like this, and how we should be compassionate about people's situations in life. Because, well, hey, never say that can't happen to me, because that is how the universe will rush to show you how exactly that can happen to you. So the reason as to why I'm about to talk about this topic is because I came across a tweet whereby a lady tweeted that we should be compassionate to widows. We should like take care of the widows, and pastors in their churches should also be involved in taking care of the widows, something like that. And then another lady commented down in the section comment and said, is it the pastor's fault that they are widows? Kila mtu apambane na hali yake. Ladies and gentlemen, that is how a few days later, the commenter became a widow herself. And by the time she was commenting, I guess she thought that that will never happen to her. And imagine a few days, not even weeks, not even months, a few days later, she posted, rest in peace, my husband, blah, blah, blah. You know that, meaning she became a widow as well. And people on Twitter were not showing compassion to her. I can imagine the pain of losing a husband, and then now you have to deal with trolls from Twitter. That must be so devastating. But she was reckless with her comment. If she didn't have nothing else to say or something nice to say, she should just have not even engaged in that tweet in the first place. So now you can imagine people trolling her, because now she's a widow as well, and people are not showing compassion, and wah. So this just goes to show that we should be mindful about people's situations. Like these widows, it's not their fault that they are widows. They did not choose to become widows. And for you to say such things and for it to happen to you just a few days later, hey, well, life. Hi everyone, a very warm welcome to this channel. My name is Feni Farah. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, kindly take a second and do so, and also watch my videos, engage with my videos, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. As I said, today I'm here to talk about life and how life can change in a second. Like, don't ever say that something can never happen to you. It's like when you say, like, my man can never cheat on me. That is when the universe shows you things. So never say never, and just be compassionate to what people are going through. Some of these situations, people did not choose to go through them, but it takes nothing to be kind. Just be kind to people. And I have so many scenarios that I can narrate. And there's another schoolmate of mine. Okay, I don't know how to put it, but she was a model. She was doing big things, and then all of a sudden, one day, everything changed. She got into an accident and she had to lose her leg. So you can imagine, like, for example, her situation, like, things just changed overnight. Who would have thought that the accident would have resulted in her losing her leg? You never think about such things in life. So as you go on with your day-to-day life, just show compassion to people, and when situations happen to you, people will return the compassion back to you. But if you were like that lady that I've talked about, people are going to be ruthless, because people don't forget about these things and people take these things seriously. Anyway, back then when my dad was still alive, when I used to be sick, I used to call him, and next thing I knew, someone will be at my doorstep to check up on me, or someone will just be like, he will even sometimes instruct two people to just bring him back two different reports on how I'm doing. Like, he will send people to check up on me. And when he was still alive, I took that for granted. I am ashamed to say that I took that for granted. Deep down, I was like, daddy nae. Me, I was telling him that I'm sick, not for him to send people to my place. I just wanted him to know. And deep down, like, let's just say, in summary, I took that for granted. So back in April this year, I was really sick. I woke up, I couldn't even be able to make breakfast for S. And it was just the two of us in the house. And you can imagine my fear. Like, you can't even be able to do anything. Hey, and you have a toddler in the house. So I was so scared, and I just needed help, to be honest. So I started calling people, telling them that I'm sick, if they could just come and assist me. And let me tell you, I called around 5 people. No one was able to come to assist me. Not even at that it's their fault or anything. Like, I'm far, and people had their days, like their day lined up. They had things that they were doing. But that made me sad. Like, for me not to find even one person, not even to take care of me. I just needed someone to at least take S for the day so that I can rest and just gather my strength. Imagine, thank God there was chapo in the house, but S started eating the cold chapos. I couldn't even make tea for him or warm the chapos for him. That's how serious the situation was. And for me to call people and find no one to come and assist me, it made me feel sad. And the universe was reminding me about how my dad used to send people to my house, and I took that for granted. Oh, yeah, the universe has a way of reminding you things really fast. So yeah, and I felt so. Thank God that day one of my neighbors was around, because normally where I live, people are not always around. So that day one of my neighbors was around, and she came and made tea and just helped me during the day. But I can imagine if there was no neighbor around, what would they have done? Like, I don't know how that day would have gone, but it felt sad for me not to have anyone to just even take S for the day, and for me to just rest. And that's so scary. I remember even calling my sister and telling her, like, make sure you just call me the next day in the morning to make sure that I'm alive, because I didn't know if I was going to make it. I was feeling horrible. I was feeling very, very horrible. So yeah, even as we go on our day-to-day lives, some things may just seem like, what? That day I was that day I quickly learned that what my dad was doing was not something, like, he was not exaggerating the situations. When you're sick, sometimes you need people, and I took that for granted, because he will send even 2 people to my house, and I will say, like, hey, udadina, eh? Wow, how I wish that day back in April he was still alive to send someone to assist me that day. Oh my God. Hey. Anyway, that aside, I remember even during his last year on earth, my dad was a very busy man, and he was busy attending, like, if he was not in a meeting, he was in a funeral, he was just somewhere. Like, every single weekend when you call him, he was somewhere doing something. And most of the times he was in a burial. And at some point, my brother and I said, hey, nasi ameenda mazishi nyingi. But people forget, at that age, people are dying. Like, at their age, people are dying like almost every other time. So in every weekend, he used to be like go to bury people. And I remember this particular weekend, he went to another town. I can't even remember the name. It was just a funny name. And he went to bury his friend, and there was no network. So we were trying to reach him, and we couldn't reach him because there was no network. And I was communicating with my brother. If you reach him, let me know, and vice versa. So by the time we were getting in touch with him, we spoke and blah, blah, blah. And then I spoke to my brother and said, hey, yani, ameenda mazishi paka huko. Like, it was a remote place, kabisa, kabisa. I can't even remember the name, but he went to bury his friend. And we were just talking, like, jokingly, like, not even thinking much about it. We're saying, nasi ameenda hizi mazishi kweli kweli. Paka huko mahali ambapo hakujulikani, kwani ni lazima aende paka huko, Yani ameenda paka huko, yani hata we didn't think much about it. Guys, guess who was next after that? Hey, Shortly after, my dad was the next one to go, and he passed on. And when we were talking about that, we never thought that you never think that things are going to happen to you. You never think that the situation will hit close to home, because we were just saying it lightly, like ameenda mazishi nyingi kweli kweli, zengine paka huko. It reached a time even on a weekend kuna mazishi mbili zenye anafaa kuenda, hata hajui aende gani, maybe ataenda ile iko karibu. That's how serious it is, this thing called life, maze, this thing called life. So that at that time we were just saying like, paka huko mahali hapa ambapo hakujulikani ameenda. Guess who? My dad was next. He died next, and my dad died at the time where there were COVID restrictions and all those things. They said that the burial has to have like maximum of 50 people and stuff. And let me tell you guys, my dad's funeral had, I think, more than 200 people. Like, it was more. We broke that rule about COVID restrictions of having 50 people because people came and showed us support. They came to bury him because I don't know if he was a person who was like haingekuwa ana attend vitu za watu nini. I'm sure but we would have just been family by the time he was dying. But he was a people's person. He used to go and bury people even far, like all those places that even we've never heard of. And when his time came, people came to us and showed us support. And that's really, that was just something nice. That was just, I don't know, that it was touching because alikuwa mtu wa watu. So I can imagine if people said, hatuwezi enda kuna COVID, sigini nini, and then the burial will just be my siblings and I and just a few people, family. It will still be something, but the support made the difference. The support made the difference. And because pia yeye alikuwa mtu wa watu, alikuwa ukiwa na shughuli yako, he will be there, he will show up. People showed up for his funeral and people showed support to the family for the funeral, and that made the difference. So as you are living your life, your day-to-day life, please be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of, it's like whatever you give to the universe, it gives back to you. And don't even live your life thinking that a situation might never happen to you, guys. That is how the universe will show you how exactly that situation is going to happen to you. So don't be ignorant. Don't be don't be ignorant about situation, guys. Even those people who talk bad about single mothers, they just talk like that, and soon after, most of them, it hits, if not them, it hits close to home. Until someone is in a situation, that's when you know how the situation really is. But till then, you'll just be bashing, you'll just be talking bad about a situation without much information about it. And then when it hits close to home, that is when you realize, hey, kumbe this situation is real. And I've remembered even another tweet about a politician's daughter. Okay, a former politician, because that politician is no longer in his seat. So this politician is now very sick, I think sick with cancer. And the daughter came to Twitter and said, hi guys, please donate money from my dad for treatment and blah, blah, blah. And guys, people did not show compassion to this daughter. Hey, people bashed her simply for the mistakes of her dad. Because when her dad was in power, he was a very ruthless man. He did some bad things, like, oh my God, people suffered in his hands. And now he is sick with cancer. People are not even showing any compassion to him. They're like, he deserves it. I hope he dies a painful death. And for people to say that about your dad, oh my God, I can imagine what the girl was going through at that time. People did not spare her. And people don't forget these things. People did not spare her. And just imagine, you're just paying for your dad. You're there hurting because your dad is sick. You need financial assistance, and people are trolling you on top of it. People said the truth. Your dad did this and this and this and this. He deserves that and more. Oh my God. I felt sorry for the girl. But again, even as you are going through your day-to-day life and you know you have children, sometimes you might think that you are untouchable, and life can change within a second, guys. Life can change. And I guess while that politician was in power doing all those things, he didn't think that life will turn at some point. He thought maybe that he will rule forever, and people don't rule forever. A time comes when power changes hands and you are powerless, and oh my God. So I thought, I think maybe when you have money, sometimes you become ignorant about some situations. So he oppressed many people in his constituency, and oh my God, people bashed her daughter. So it was his daughter paying for his mistakes. But again, does his daughter deserve to go through that? I don't know, but still, just be compassionate to people, because the universe will return that back. So the dad is sick with cancer. They need financial support. They have depleted like almost everything they had. So now they're asking for support from the public, and the public is not showing any compassion. And I'm sure even some friends, you know, the way you can be in a situation and then all your friends go out, you can't even find one friend to help you. Oh, I'm sure that that person is in that situation. And if, I don't know, maybe it is in that situation that you come to think about all the things that you've done, and maybe that's a time to repent. I don't know. But anyway, the point of this video was to tell you guys that as you are going through your day-to-day life, as you are going through your normal activities, please take a second and show compassion to some situation. And if you can't show compassion to someone's situation, just don't say anything bad about their situation, because you never know. Today might be that person, tomorrow might be you. So be kind, show support to people who need support, because life can change within a second. Today might be them, tomorrow might be you, and you will expect the universe to show you the same compassion, and the universe will be quick to remind you about what you did to that person. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much because it looks like I'm just going around in circles saying the same point, but I hope you got my point. I hope you get what I'm saying. And if you have reached until this point, thank you so much for watching this video till the end. I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Like, comment, and share. And goodbye.